man's eternal curse, to envy the throne of God and to endlessly try to become one ourselves. Imagine waking up one morning and discovering that everything humanity thought divine was simply an extraterrestrial experiment, that our gods were merely scientists, that Eden was a laboratory. In 1973, a man named Claude Vorilhon, later known as Raël, claimed he met our creators face to face. From this encounter would emerge a movement promising immortality, enlightenment, and perhaps a future none of us were prepared for. It all began near an ancient volcanic crater in Clermont-Ferrand, France, as Vorilhon was hiking along a path near the ancient crater. He said a spacecraft descended silently from the sky. He described it as metallic, smooth, and intelligent in its movement. After coming down for what looked like a landing, a creature emerged, standing slightly smaller than the average person and having pale green skin and almond-shaped eyes that seemed to fixate on where he was standing as this thing walked slowly toward him. It was undoubtedly humanoid, yet otherworldly. Then it began to speak. It called itself a messenger of the Elohim. Now this word was the Hebrew for God, but as this man was about to find out, according to these new seemingly benevolent acquaintances, this was a misinterpretation in our Bible. These were no angels. They weren't spirits, but advanced bioengineers who seeded life on Earth through genetic mastery millions of years ago. He told Vorilhon to return to the same place the next day and to bring a Bible with him. Full of shock and amazement, he obliged, and upon his return, the mysterious figure began teaching him the true meaning of the biblical books. Over the course of the next 6 days, Vorilhon listened intently as the creation account that he knew was supplanted with a tale of benevolent ETs influencing humanity for thousands of years. They gave their new prophet a new name, Raël. We could easily dismiss such a claim as fantasy, yet the words that the entity spoke carved themselves into Raël's identity. Quote, "You were created in our image, and you must now evolve to become like us." Unquote. Strange part about this message that they were trying to send is that it wasn't just about spirituality, it was about science. In Raëlian belief, the gods of the Hebrew Bible, the Elohim, are plural. They are creators, yes, but not supernatural. They craft life the way we manipulate DNA. Prophets from Jesus to Buddha were messengers, scientific ambassadors guiding humanity toward a destiny concealed within its own cells. According to these strange beliefs, humans have entered an age of apocalypse since they witnessed the destruction of Hiroshima through our harnessing of nuclear weaponry. In fact, Raelians believe that they have been sending the great prophets to offer us the path of transcendence beyond mortality, and that Vorilhon, or better known as Raël, was the 40th and final prophet. This worldview echoes Gnostic parallels, so ancient they feel buried in our history. The Gnostics believe salvation came through hidden knowledge, or gnosis. Here that knowledge is biotechnology. Enlightenment is no longer a matter of soul, but of code. And here's where the philosophy becomes both mesmerizing and a little unsettling. Raël teaches that consciousness itself is data, something that can be downloaded, transferred, and resurrected. And the use of this technology to bring back dead people into the bodies of a perfected clone. To followers of this cult, death becomes a technical hurdle, an obstacle to hack rather than a fate to endure. Why cling to stories of heaven when you can build eternity in a laboratory? Why worship gods when you can become them? Yet another, even more bizarre encounter occurred in 1975 that was actually more of an eerie abduction. Raël says that he was taken to the Elohim home planet and was presented with several female robots and asked to copulate with them as a form of genetic extraction, and what came next is the contents of a nightmare. After watching the extraterrestrials hard at work after collecting his DNA, Raël was introduced to his own clone. And according to his account, this was how these beings reproduced, as natural methods were banned long ago. And before being returned to Earth, he was told to start teaching followers. And he was taught sensual meditation and other techniques and secrets of the universe. According to this strange legend, the Elohim fled Earth long ago and watched from afar, waiting for us to mature and to stop killing, conquering, and hating, and to start creating. When humanity proves itself worthy, our creators will return, revealing the final keys to immortality. But they've also given a countdown, a deadline. He insists that we must build an embassy, a literal landing place for the Elohim, to welcome them as honored guests. And there's urgency. The Raelians believe 2025 marks a pivotal year, a cosmic evaluation, and a moment that will determine whether humanity ascends into a technological Eden or destroys itself before its makers intervene. Underneath this prophecy lies a psychological core, a manipulative and seductive quality shared by most doomsday cults, the human terror of oblivion, the fear that we are brief sparks in an indifferent cosmos. Raël's teachings offer a soothing reversal against a backdrop of oblivion and destruction. Raël's teachings and endeavors reflect a very human and common sort of component to our psyche, the longing to transcend, to grasp apotheosis, self-deification. If consciousness can be duplicated, refined, and reborn endlessly, then leaders like him never have to die. Humanity's march toward perfection becomes his personal ladder to godhood. This is also reflective of Nietzsche's idea of the Übermensch, the overman, or the God-man. And it seems to be an unending quest by humanity to transcend the laws and limitations that God has set in place and to become more, to go higher. But let me know what you think in the comments, and if you haven't seen my video on the ancient god, Saturn, and the cult of the Black Cube, check that out here. Or if symbols and mysteries are more your thing, click over here. I'll see you all very, very soon.